At Prometric, we understand that taking a test can make you feel anxious. Our goal is to ensure that your experience at the test center doesn't. Our responsibility is to make the process as smooth and as easy to understand as possible for you. By watching this video, you'll be able to see what to expect on your test day so that you can be comfortable and confident going into the center. Upon arrival at the Prometric Testing Center, you will be greeted by the Test Center Administrator, or TCA. The TCA will ask you to present a current ID with your name, signature, and photograph. Acceptable forms of ID include a valid driver's license, passport, and a state or government-issued ID. It is important that your ID is current and has not expired. If it is expired, it will not be accepted and you will lose your opportunity to test that day. Also, it's important that the name on your ID matches exactly the name you maintain in NMLS. If your ID name and your NMLS ID name are not the same, you will not be admitted into the test center. After you present your ID, you will be required to sign in. The TCA will verify that the signature on your ID matches the signature on the sign-in roster. Next, you'll be assigned a locker where you'll be required to secure your personal belongings for the duration of your test. It is very important to know that you will not be permitted to bring any personal items into the testing room. This includes outerwear, hats, food, drinks, purses, briefcases, notebooks, pagers, watches, calculators, cell phones, recording devices, and photographic equipment. The only things you will be permitted to keep on your person in the testing room are your ID and your locker key. Once your items are secured in a locker, you will be escorted to an area where a second test administrator will conduct the check-in procedure. These procedures are designed to assure fairness and to carefully verify the identity of the person taking the test. You will need to present your ID a second time to verify that your ID matches the information you provided when you signed in for your Safe Mortgage Loan Originator test. Additionally, the TCA will ask you to turn your pant pockets inside out to show that they have been emptied of all personal belongings. Next, you'll be photographed and assigned your testing station. Your test center administrator will then provide you with a standard 4-function calculator, scratch pad, and 2 pencils for your use during the test. Optional noise-canceling headphones are available upon request. The TCA will also explain the testing procedures, go over any rules that apply to your test, and answer any questions you may have prior to beginning. Now it's time to move to the testing area, and your test center administrator will escort you to your assigned seat. The layout of the testing area is designed to ensure that each candidate has a private, fair, and comfortable testing environment. Please respect the fact that there will be other candidates testing in the same room as you, and be aware of the following rules that apply to the testing room. 1. Do not speak to other candidates in the testing room at any time. 2. All candidates in the testing room are continuously monitored by camera. If you have a question about anything, simply raise your hand and a TCA will come to your aid. 3. The SAFE test allows you to take unscheduled breaks. You may only leave the test room to use the bathroom. During your unscheduled break, you must have your ID on you at all times. You may not leave the test center, speak to anyone other than the TCA, use your cell phone, or review any unauthorized materials. Please be aware that if you take an unscheduled break, the test clock will not stop. The clock will continue to count down while you are on break. 4. Each time you exit and re-enter the testing room, you will be required to complete the sign-in sheet. 5. You are not permitted to remove any clothing or jewelry during your test. If you dressed in layers and wish to remove an article of clothing, you must take an unscheduled break and deposit the item in your secure locker. 6. If you run out of scratch paper, please notify your TCA and you will be provided with an additional booklet. Once you are seated and your TCA starts your test, you will have the opportunity to go through a basic tutorial that includes instructions on navigation and how to answer the questions. You may repeat the tutorial as needed until you are comfortable with the general navigation used during testing. Any time spent in the navigation tutorial does not reduce your overall test time. After you read and accept the NMLS Rules of Conduct, your test will begin. Your test clock will begin when you start the first question of the test. It will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you find it distracting, you can use the time tool to turn the clock off or back on. For the national component of the SAFE test, you will have 150 minutes to answer the test questions. For the unique state components, you will have 90 minutes to answer the test questions. Please note that while you may mark questions to review at a later time, you must answer each question at the time it is presented in order to proceed to the next question. If you are uncertain of a question, answer it as best you can and mark it for later review. During your test, a test center administrator will periodically walk through the test area. Feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions. After you have answered your final question, you can choose to either review your responses or exit. Next, your score will be calculated. Before you receive your score, you will be asked if you understand the score disclaimer statement. Please follow the instructions on the screen. Your score will not be presented until you indicate your understanding of the score disclaimer statement. Finally, you will be asked to complete an optional survey about your test-taking experience. Now you may exit the test room and return any test aids used during the test to the TCA. Test aids include scratch paper, pencils, standard calculator, and, if applicable, noise-canceling headphones. You will need to return these items to the test center administrator in the check-in room. If you have any questions or concerns about your test day experience, you may share them with the TCA, who will file a report for review by the NMLS. If you accepted the score report disclaimer, you will receive a printed copy of your score report. The TCA will present it to you at this time. Please note, the score report given at the test center is not official until the test results are posted within 72 hours in NMLS. After signing out with the TCA, you may retrieve your personal belongings from the locker and return your locker key. We hope this short tutorial has given you some peace of mind about what you will encounter on test day. Good luck on your exam.